Apprehend God in all things, for God is in all things. Every single creature is filled with God and is a book about God. Amen. So, guess what? Guess what? It's raining. It's still raining out there. And this rain really makes me, I did that at 8 o'clock too, so it worked better there, I think, at 8 o'clock. This rain really makes me think about my dog. How many dog people are there? Just a couple? Okay, so this isn't going to work at all then. My dog, it makes me think about my dog because our dog sleeps with Dylan and Miles, and every night, probably be between 2 a.m. and 5, maybe 6 a.m., he kind of has a little ritual, and he wakes me up every time. And I hear him jump down from the bed, boom. And then I hear him walk on the floors, click, 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 click. And then he goes to his water dish. I'm not going to make that sound. Drink, 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 drink. He drinks from the water dish. And then, inevitably, he comes back to our room. And now, if I'm in bed, he doesn't get in bed. He lays on the floor. If I'm out of bed for whatever reason, then he jumps up and sleeps with Cindy. And the reason the rain reminds me of all that is because when I'm in a bad place, when I'm in a kind of tired place, it's just so frustrating to hear all that. Just like this much rain can be frustrating. It's just so frustrating to hear the click, 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 drink, 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 and then know that next night it's going to happen all over again. And the thing is what happens is, so first I'm frustrated, and there's a big part of me that wants to like elbow Cindy and go, your dog is awake right now. You can ask her, I've never done that, but I want to. When I'm in that place, you know that place, you ever be in that place where little things like that begin as frustration and then lead to anger, and then you're taking out your anger on all the people around you? Did you ever do that? Yeah, I'm the only one. Okay. Well, the thing is, see, I don't want to live a life like that. I don't want to live a life where little things, be it my dog or the rain or people driving or whatever, frustrate me so much that my day becomes one big frustration. And then my week becomes one big anger. I don't want to live like that. And that's what takes me to, when I'm in a place like that, takes me right to this reading from Kings, 2 Kings today. And this is how the scriptures can impact my life. Okay, because all that I just said that about the dog and the frustration is filled in that reading. Did you see it? I'll show you. Okay? Because we're going to do a little bit of Bible study today. Okay, so where's the thing? The reading. So look at your reading. Are you guys with me here? Are you asleep? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of Bible study. And I want to ask you this question. First is, what is Naaman like? He's the guy that gets healed. What's he like? He's a jerk. In a word, he's a jerk. No, well, okay, so maybe he's a jerk. But he's also, what the story says right out what he is at the very beginning. He's a great man. He is a great man. Which means, just ask him. Which means what? Which means he's successful. He's competent. He's powerful. He gets the job done. He's a great guy. He's got a lot of power. He's just got one thing that's noticeably wrong with him. He might have other things going on, but he's got one thing noticeably wrong with him. And that is he is got leprosy. But the leprosy really hasn't held him back. I mean, he's successful in all that he does. What the story suggests is he's probably the second most powerful person in his country, behind the king. Okay? You got the picture of that guy in your mind? Know anybody like that? Are you somebody like that? Okay? So here's this guy, and he's got this one little problem. And he hears the servant girl, a little servant girl, say, hey, you know what? I bet you if you go over to Israel, you can get healed. Maybe even cured. And the guy decides to take her up on that, which says a lot about him. I mean, this is just kind of hearsay from some servant girl. But he's willing to go. And he goes with a lot of tribute, with a lot of money. And he makes a very impressive arrival at Elisha's house. But Elisha just sends out a messenger. And the messenger says, the prophet says, go wash 7 times in the Jordan and you'll be healed. Now, how does Naaman respond to that? And then it's not a trick question. He gets angry, right? He gets mad. He gets mad. Why is he mad? Okay, he's got to do something. Why else is he mad? Okay, he thinks maybe somebody's picking a fight with him. Well, why else is he mad? Because he's mad. He thought he was going to get recognition, this guy. He thought, I'm not being treated with enough respect, the respect accorded my position in life. Right? He gets mad, and then his anger leads to show what his expectations are. And what are his expectations? That the prophet's going to come out, kind of fawn all over him, and then call out to God and do this thing, and then he'll be healed. He's already got it in his mind the way this thing's supposed to play out. But it's not playing out that way. Then what comes next? After anger and his expectations being shattered, then, and I'm just going to tell you this, I'm not even going to ask you, I'm just going to tell you, he falls into this kind of juvenile arrogance. Well, you know what? My rivers are better than your rivers. And I should have just washed in those rivers and I'd have been clean. And then all of that leads to what? A rage. Now he's not just mad, he's enraged, and he leaves. And as he leaves, all hope of healing leaves with him. But the good news is this, and this is right where this story fits with my life, is that if he'll open his eyes and let his anger, his arrogance, his expectations, and his rage be healed, then he can be cured. The healing has to come before the curing. And the even better news is all of that's right in front of him. The healing and the curing, are how that can happen for him, it's all right there in front of him if he can just get out of his own way. That's how this fits with my life. Because when I'm in that place and my dogs click, 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 leads me from frustration to anger to I need to be healed. And the good news is the healing is right out in front of me all the time. And this is such a good lesson for Graham, who we're going to baptize today. The healing is all around me and us all the time. And you know what it is? It's nature. Entering into nature. That's the place where I can find healing of my frustration, of my anger, and whatever else. And this is very, very important because nature has always been a place of healing throughout all the great spiritual traditions of the world. Many healings take place, including Naaman's healing, in nature. And it has even more implications for us in our day and age, because as we were talking afterward, John reminded me that coming up, 70% of all the people in the world will be living in cities. And oftentimes when you live in cities, when you live a very urban life, you get disconnected from nature. And so you get disconnected from a place of healing. And then Chris was telling me about, and both of them really were telling me about their pediatricians that said, if your kids don't have to take a bath at night to wash off all the dirt, you haven't done your job. Let them get out there and let them get dirty, because it's healing. And it's all around us all the time. Did you ever see this book? It's called Last Child in the Woods, Saving Our Children from Nature Deficit Disorder. Nature Deficit Disorder. It's a big one. This is a big disorder. What the book will get into, and I'm not going to get all into it. If you want to read it, you can borrow it. But the nature, it's been shown, helps to heal kids, helps to give them creativity. It helps them with their ADD. It helps with obesity. It helps with focus. It is a healing presence, nature is. There's a little boy in the book that got so much out of being in nature, he said to his dad, "Hey, Dad, are God and Mother Nature married?" Because it is that. It is like that. It's like nature is a place where we can meet God and nature itself, both of them together. And in that meeting, there is healing. So I've been in one of those places where, just kind of feeling tired, and the click, click, click has been driving me crazy. So I went on a hike on Monday. Ended up hiking all the way up the Rainbow Falls Trail to LeConte. Never had done that before. Did you ever go out on a hike kind of expecting a stroll and ended up on like a forced march? Well, that's what this felt like. But it was great, though. It was great. We walked all the way up to the top, all the way up to cliff top. And just sitting there, it was this healing moment. So this one guy in this book puts it this way: I go to nature to be soothed and healed, and to have my senses put in tune once more. I go to nature to be soothed and healed, and to have my senses put in tune once more. And that's what it felt like up there. I was being soothed and healed. And all the little annoyances that were getting on my nerves were just faded away, went away. And then we had to start walking back. And it was a pretty long hike back down. And as soon as we got to the LeConte area, there were all these people, and every one of them just kept talking about the rain. There's 50% chance of rain. We better hurry. We better hurry up and get back down. There's 50. And, I'm thinking, okay, if it rains, I get wet. I'm not going to let this bother me. I'm not going to let this annoy me. And so we kept walking down. And, after you've walked about 8 or 9 miles, it starts to get a little tiring. And my feet were starting to hurt, and my knees were starting to hurt, and I'm thinking, no, don't let that annoy me. Don't let it bother me. Just keep walking. And then we walk a little further, and I'm thinking, man, I smell something. Man, it's really bad. What is that smell? And it was me. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to let that bother me. I'm not going to let it. and then we would walk past, and then it did start raining a little bit. It started to sprinkle a little bit. And we walked past these people who had like matching hiking outfits. You know what I mean? Like color-coordinated shoes and shorts. And they smelled really nice. And it's like, I don't know. You think they'll figure that out? So it's like Eddie Bauer threw up, and I'm thinking, I'm not going to let that bother me either. I'm not going to let it bother me. But we kept walking, and it just started raining harder and harder, and I'm thinking, God, all that soothing and healing, is that just going to be gone on the hike down? is that really going to happen? And it just rained harder and harder and harder until finally it was just funny. Because we were just slopping along, socks wet, couldn't get 1 inch wetter. And it was the best ever. Because it just washed away everything. And I felt clean and good. And what I realized is, see, nature brings healing in lots of ways. And the healing came through, in this instance, it came through the struggle. Because sometimes life is a struggle, isn't it? And sometimes we just have to get through the struggle to get to the other side. That's our Bible study for today. That's something that we have to pass on to Graham today. That all around us is a chance to be healed. We just have to open our eyes. Amen.